Hi, this is author LDM Morris. I wrote the book Everyone Wants to Be in the Band. It's sold on Amazon Kindle, and it's about a fictional tale of a rock and roll band in the 1970s. Love, sex, and betrayal, and a fun ride.
Perfect. Who better than Derek, Pat, Andrew, the wrestling crew? Man, they bout to put an end to y'all careers like a finishing move. They bout to give y'all facts on these cats that's fighting on these mats. Y'all can't see them like John Cena. Even if y'all had 20/20 vision, y'all better listen, pay attention, and take notes down and realize that it's not your time now. And watch these three kings take the crown. Hey, hey.
This is Prince Akhenaten, the Wire from the Nile. You're listening to Wrestling IQ 101, which makes me the Smile from the Nile. Huh!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of WIQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek.
You.
And today we're sitting with Nick Destiny. Nick, good to talk to you again, buddy.
Good to talk to you guys. It's great to be back. You guys have had a lot of success I've been seeing and reading up upon, and I think that's awesome for you guys. And, you know, I'm here to hopefully get more interviews and more hits for you guys.
Well, we do appreciate that, and we're glad to have you back again. And we are trying to keep that momentum going for us.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Nick, last time we spoke, man, you know, a lot has changed. So what's new?
Lots changed, yes. First, I want to get into a little bit of my personal stuff, and then we'll shift focus onto, you know, the wrestling world and whatnot. Mm-hmm. The last time I spoke to you guys, I was kind of, you know, trying to get on Survivor and bodybuilding, and I've been trying to get back in the ring, trying to knock off some ring rust. But since then, I've kind of shifted focus on, you know, acting a little bit, and I've taken acting classes. I've been in acting school for the past 6 months, and after that, I decided to really look at my life. And 33 years old. Last time we spoke, I was, you know, and Derek, I believe, was telling me, he's like, well, you know, you do know that, you know, you're in your 30s, and, you know, you're trying to get into the big leagues, and, you know, still, and it's kind of a process that I had to have with myself, and I decided just to you know, I wanted something permanent, and I decided to go after my second passion, which is cooking. And I grew up in the restaurant business as well, and I decided to you know, try to do something with the restaurant and the building that my father had, you know, 10 years ago, and the town really loved it, and I decided to bring that food and a different ethnic background and food to this area, which lacks it, and I'm doing very good with it.
Awesome, man. So can you just tell people where it is and how they can maybe get some food from you?
It's the Greek Isle Cafe. It's located in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. There's a Facebook page for it called the Greek Isle Cafe. I'm working on a website at the moment, and you know, my gimmick there is fresh gyros, authentic Greek gyros. Nobody else does that in my area. So I got a gyro machine, and I get the fresh meat, and, you know, I do it up fresh, and, you know, that's something that this area doesn't have. Also, you know, it's, you know, I kind of tied it in with my other life, which was pro wrestling, and, you know, grand opening, or the soft opening I had a Smooth Tommy Suede come out from WXW, somebody that I worked with and, you know, graduated with and whatnot, and awesome guy. I had Zero Gravity, another WXW alum, come down. Great guy as well. He came all the way from Philly, so, you know, it was great to see him. I haven't seen any of them in years, and the WXW manager who was Dylan Dean, Francis Garcella now, who writes for the Sunbury paper here in Pennsylvania.
Nice. Now, can you kind of tell us, because I kind of been watching your progress of the restaurant through Facebook. I see when you make your posts. I've been watching you kind of like from the beginning to where you are now. So can you kind of just tell us like how that experience was and, like some of the challenges you probably faced?
Oh, yes. Being that I've never done this before, I kind of thought it was going to be easy because, I grew up with it and I thought I would just pick it up. And, I didn't think it would be as difficult as it is. It is, definitely overwhelming. Before, all I had to think about was just getting, the cooking done, and that was it. And now it's pretty much everything rolled into one, and I'm, doing it all myself. I don't have a partner. I don't have a manager. I don't have anybody. So it's just kind of me, and I'm just kind of going through it, and I'm learning every single day. So it is definitely overwhelming, and it's something that I'm glad I'm doing it, because it's rewarding, and I'm just looking at the end goal, and the end goal is now that I'm 3 weeks into it, I'm getting in a routine, and I'm getting a little bit more adapted and more used to things and how to run things.
So Nick, is your plan to maybe open up more restaurants, or just keep it the one?
I would like to do more, but not primarily where I'm at.
Okay.
I like to keep this where I'm at here, and then maybe somewhere in like the city or something like that, have something else. But I also look at Jerry Lawler. He just opened up another one, I think. He has the Hall of Fame Bar and Grill, and then he has like a little fast food thing that he opened up too.
Yeah.
It's Jerry Lawler's Barbecue or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's possible. I tend to like it. Also tying it in with the wrestling world, to be honest, I have all my pictures of myself with stars like the Ultimate Warrior, the Undertaker, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, all those guys, and I do get a lot of customers that do come in and they bring me out from the back, and they want to talk about so and so and how I met this person and that person, and people are interested.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool that you're giving back to the community as well.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So last time we talked to you, you were doing the Survivor auditions. Can you kind of tell us like what happened with Survivor and how that went?
So I went to an audition the last time we spoke, and it wasn't the greatest. I really didn't do as good as I expected, and I talked to one of the producers, and I knew I wasn't gonna really get a call back, but he gave me his number, and I was bugging him for a little bit, and then he called me back, and he told me that they're coming back in October, which was this past October actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down there before I opened up my restaurant, because I figured the perfect timing, because I didn't know if I was going to have time after that. So I went down and I did another audition, and that one I did good on, and the producer actually called me back a month later, and we spoke for a little bit. I told him my situation about what I'm doing here, and they start like doing callbacks, like CBS starts doing callbacks for Survivor, like the people who auditioned in October, November, they start doing them in February, March. So I'm waiting February, March for something. I'm hoping. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I have my fingers crossed.
Nice, awesome.
So, are you going to let somebody else run the restaurant if you decide to pursue that?
If I trust somebody well enough.
I'm sure you get like Virgil to come in and help you out.
He'd be paying me. he just want free meals. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, seriously. Meat sauce, free meat sauce. Who work for?
So, Nick, you know, you're embarking on a comeback story to the ring, and before we got on, you said this time it's going to be different. You know, explain to the listener why it's going to be different. What's your mindset this time?
Well, I can, tell you that other times, my main focus, and, it's wrong that I put so much pressure on myself. Mm-hmm. The thing was, to try to, wow everybody all at once and, try to, get noticed and looked at, by the top company. And that always made me more anxious and more nervous, and it just isn't good. Like, I'm sure you guys talk to a lot of performers and a lot of guys, and I'm sure, their mentality is going out there and having fun. They're not worried. They don't have in the back of their mind, oh, is so-and-so watching? Oh, who's watching this and that? They go out there and they leave it all out there. They have a good time, and, they don't put as much pressure on themselves. And I think that makes everything better in the end. Like, the matches come out better. The chemistry is more there. Everything's just more intriguing to me anyways. And, this time around, I don't feel like I have to have that pressure on myself anymore, because I'm 33 years old and, reality has set in. And, I just, I've been doing this for so long that right now I just want to have fun with it, and, I kind of want to have a good time and enjoy something that I've been doing for 15, 16 years.
Nice. And as far as like injuries or anything, how are you feeling, like, health-wise?
Very good. Better than I felt in years. And, I guess it's because I haven't bumped in a while, maybe. And, that first initial bump will probably knock, some vertebrae out. So, I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. But, right now, everything seems to be clicking good. And, I'm anxious to get back in the ring and, just take a bump and just have fun with everything.
Yeah. So Nick, talk about do you have a new set of like psychology that you want to bring to the ring that maybe you didn't bring the first time?
Yes, more strong style type of stuff. I was never really into the cruiserweight and to the high flying, but more chain wrestling and more passion, more drive, more focus, more of me, because I can honestly say that all the other times I was doing it for to get noticed, and this time I'm going to do it for me.
Nice. That's absolutely awesome.
Nice. And as far as doing the bodybuilding, are you still in the gym constantly? You eating right? You still into the bodybuilding?
Every day. I love it. It's something, again, that and motivational speaking. I can honestly say that if I wasn't in doing what I'm doing now with the restaurant and everything like that and being a business owner, I would honestly look at both of those things. And Tommy Swade down in Hazleton does a lot of. He actually runs like a CrossFit program. I would love. I talked to him about it when he was at my restaurant, and he said too, it's awesome. He loves it, and very rewarding. And I would love to do stuff like that too.
So, Nick, did you ever think about maybe training like the future wrestlers?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. My one friend has a school up here, a training center, but I I don't hear a lot of people go to it, and I'm not sure that it's opened a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have, like, I have a waitress that works for me, and her son is 19 years old, and he's kind of looking for a school to train at. And I tell him all the time, you know, and he was there when Tommy Swade was there too. And I told, you know, the mom was asking me, you know, where would he go train and who should he train with? And I said, you know, I'm not going to tell you the Wild Samoan Training Center because, you know, that's where I trained at, but I'm going to tell you, you know, look for a reputable school. You know, no matter where you are or who you're looking to train with, make sure the guy is at least known, or if not known, somebody that, you know, has been there.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you touched on this before, that you have a new mindset that it's just for fun now. Would that be one of those things that you just try to teach the students? You know, if you were to train somebody, maybe take that mentality instead of
Absolutely. Absolutely, because, you know, the end goal is not always WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there's so many other possibilities and so many other realms in the pro wrestling world today. I mean, it's not just cut and dried. You know, you have to get, you know, there. You know, I get it, you know, because that's everybody's goal in the beginning, and it's good to have that mindset. But at the same time, you know, look at guys that are there now. They don't want to really be there. You know, I again, not to keep bringing up Tommy Swade, but I talked to him, and you know, we were talking about when he was in developmental, and Kevin Matthews was down there too,
yeah,
with him down in Deep South, and he was telling me some stuff, you know, and he's like, you don't know what people go through there, you know, like you feel like you're walking on eggshells, you feel like everyone's watching you. He's like, you know, like you have no freedom, and he was telling me about all this stuff, and it made me think a little bit more about it, and it's like, you know, maybe he's right. You know, like I'm sure, you know, guys that are there now want to leave, and they're going to indies, some are going to MMA, like Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's all different people like venturing out. Daniel Bryan could be gone soon, which, you know, I definitely don't blame him.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Because you know, Cody wants to do that 10,000 seat arena thing. You know, you think it's possible?
Yeah, the fantasy card or something like that, right? He's doing a Ring of Honor thing, or is it him and the Bucks?
I think it's just him and I think it's him and the Bucks that want to make their own show. I mean, you know, do you think he's crazy for doing it?
That's awesome. I don't think he's crazy. I think, you know, it's awesome that he got out of, you know, the bigger company, and he's trying to work with younger guys, just like Jericho and Omega. You know, like, how cool is that? You know, like, I'm sure maybe, you know, some may have not liked it. I think that's cool. You know, Jericho went in when he didn't have to. You know, he really didn't. And he took somebody like, you know, Omega, who's the hottest, you know, youngest guy, up-and-coming guy right now, and, you know, he tried to get him elevated. He tried to get him known, and he put him over. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Do you think, like, something kind of like with how the indie scene is now, do you think that's, like, something that will kind of, like, it will help professional wrestling? Because, like, WWE, you know, like, they really haven't had, like, a challenge since, like, WCW. And maybe the indies can be the challenge to WWE now to make them kind of change and get more with the times and what the fans want.
I'll give you an example. Did you guys tune in to Raw 25?
Yeah.
Can you agree with me that was a lackluster kind of a show?
Yeah, that's definitely true. It could have been a lot better.
You guys, they bring all these people back, and, you know, like, the nostalgia's there. You know, obviously, I get where they're going with it, and they use them how? In skits and backstage vignettes. I don't see how the writers of that show can think that that's a passable 3-hour old school type of Monday Night Raw that fans today would tune in and want to watch over and over again. I don't get the mentality behind that.
It's actually kind of weird because WWE usually does a good job with legends. For example, RVD, when he went to TNA, I remember seeing a thing on TMZ. People were like, do you still wrestle? And he came back in 2013, and the world just went crazy for RVD, and they usually have a good knack for bringing in talent when they do it and making them, So yeah, I definitely agree with that feeling. And plus, people were paying up to like $800 or more just to be there,
That's what I heard too, and that's just ridiculous. And plus, it's the go home show before one of your big 4 pay-per-views, like the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have threw more gasoline on that fire. I mean, you should have you should have did something, to promote your event, not just to have the 3-man main event brawl at the end, which really didn't do anything for anyone.
Yeah, it kind of felt more like a tribute to the Troop kind of show, like there was just nothing to really grasp on.
Like all of those guys that they advertised to be there were just there just to show their face.
Yeah,
that's it. That is it. And the returning women that were there too. I heard one ex-writer that I talked to. His name is Tom, and he said too. He wrote on Facebook something like, "You bring all these former divas back, like Tori and all these women, and they were scheduled to have some kind of role. They were scheduled to do more than what they did, which was just come out and wave, just like Raw GMs, which was stupid too. But again, they just didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see Kelly wrestle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think and I think the 2 arena thing too kind of like killed them too. That kind of like didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You think they just overbooked the card?
It would have made sense. It would have made sense, like, had they done, like, how they were doing it, and then, like, had maybe... I personally think Vince should have been at both. They should have had him, at the Barclays, and then, the second or third hour had him at the Manhattan Center. Because, it's his, and he was there from the beginning. They should have maybe had him, come back to the announce booth, or, open the show with Jim Ross and Lawler, old school type shit.
Yeah, and then after the show, the picture that was circulating of Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, they were sleeping at the commentary table.
Yeah. And I heard Jim Ross fired back saying that that's absolutely untrue. And I don't mean to, I don't mean to throw shade on any of them, but if they were, who can blame them?
Yeah, seriously.
who can honestly blame them? For real. You're gonna sit me there for 2 hours and just have me watch something that I'm not even there.
Do you think they just overbooked people? Do you think they should have done like what they did for Raw 1000 when they started bringing in people for Heath Slater to maybe get beat up by, and then finally the big blow off was that he got beat up by everybody.
Right. Had some legends there.
Yeah.
Not every, they brought back too many.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Enzo Amore thing kind of threw them off too.
Yeah, that was a big blow this week for them.
Yeah. What I was thinking of that would have been like good too as well. I remember back when they had something on Raw, and it was like all the former like world champions, and it was like Shawn Michaels, and then they did. You remember like CM Punk? He like hit Triple H, and then Shawn Michaels super kicked CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan, all this stuff. I was thinking like they could have like had like a lot of the old guys back and did something really good with like Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar and Kane, but they like totally like dropped the ball on it.
Yeah, and also I thought like when you
go to it's just like when Roddy Piper used to come in and used to do Piper's Pit with like Cena and Punk and all those guys.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the people they brought back, I was kind of surprised. I mean, we hadn't seen Eric Bischoff in a while. We hadn't seen Tori Wilson. So I was like, this is a great group of people that like they could have actually done something with, like, you know, Terry Reynolds, and they just kind of mishandled that.
I so wanted to see Eric Bischoff do something. I love Eric Bischoff. I so wanted to see him do something. Sucked not seeing him do anything.
So besides you know, WWE, do you catch up with any other brands wrestling?
I try to keep up with TNA primarily because, you know, Matthews is on there now, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see him on there.
Yeah, definitely. How do you feel about like the new ownership now? Now they're going to be running out of Canada as well. Now, how do you think that's going to go for them?
Well, and they brought back Austin Aries as well.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. I hope they get it right. You know, I'm sure no independent wrestler or no wrestler at all wants to see a company fail. You know, because it's like it hurts them, but it hurts, you know, your boys. You know, like, you know, even if you're not there, you know, like I'm thinking about, you know, what you know. Yeah, you know, it's not me, but, you know, what's guys like Kevin Matthews going to do? You know, like, they're going to be out of job, you know, so, like, I wouldn't want anything to happen there. So I'm hoping that, you know, this new ownership and everything like that they're going through and everything that's happening, I hope it, you know, gives them a boost and a shot in the arm that they can, you know, stay afloat and stop all this, you know, changing and, you know, it needs to have consistency, and that's something that hasn't had in a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah. And they have good people. They have just got Brian Cage. They have, you know, Fala Ba. They have so many guys that they can fall back on. Del Rio is another one, and LAX. So they have the.
I mean,
they have the tools.
They did lose. They did lose EC3 and Lashley and, you know, a few other guys, but I'm hoping they can bounce back from that. And, you know. You can maybe introduce some new talent.
Yeah, and even Matt Sydal is still amazing. So, I mean, they have the cornerstones that they could really build off of. And, yeah, hopefully they can ride the ship to a brighter pasture.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like with them, like they're a good company. They just, I feel like a lot of it is like a lot of like the gimmicks. Like they have a lot of good ideas, but a lot of like the Grand Prix title, like the UFC rules type thing. Like it's a good idea, but I don't know. I don't know if that really appeals to like the wrestling fan, if they really like stuff like that.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a good thing to do once in a while, but to have it, you know, like you know, to bring it back and whatnot, I think some of the wrestling fans lose interest in it.
Yeah, I mean, the only good part is that there are shorter rounds, so I mean, you might keep your interest a little bit. It's not like, you know. It's not like it's like a 10-minute round or something like that, you know. So I mean, that was a good idea by them to keep them kind of short. So Nick, you know, you touched on Omega and Jericho. Do you think that match would have worked a couple of years ago? Let's say if it was AJ Styles and Jericho, or Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, Jericho, or do you think Kenny Omega was the right guy to do that match? Because they both guys had the momentum. Even when they were part of the Bullet Club, to make it kind of seem international, you know.
Right. I think that Kenny Omega has had it for a good 2 years now. Mm-hmm. I think that this just brought everything out. It showed a lot of Kenny's arsenal, a lot of everything from him. There's, you know, spots in there that I really never really seen from him that were awesome. And something that made me even a bigger fan of his was, if you go on YouTube and watch this, it's called, if you put this in on YouTube and watch it, you'll fall in love with Kenny Omega even more. It's called Kenny Omega versus, it's Kenny Omega is the champion of everything. If you YouTube that and watch it, you'll love it. Tommy Sway told me about that too, by the way. He's like, I had to watch it, and he's like, I fell in love with Kenny Omega even more.
Yeah, just do it after this podcast. You want to continue listening to Nick Destiny and Wrestling IQ 101.
Definitely.
Right now on
Yes, you
YouTube.
are.
And the B Plus Player Network. But anyway. So, Nick, man, you know, what other matches have you thought, you know, that you want to come and see? You know, you have a dream opponent to get back in the ring with or something like that?
I'd honestly like to get in there with Tony Deppen. I don't know. I talked about him at the last podcast, and I'm talking about him again only because he just got off one of his biggest matches against Teddy Hart, and I watched that, and I liked what I saw, and that kid's making waves, and to be, to still say that from the last time we spoke and then this time, again, it's the consistency, and I see a lot of that in him, and somebody that I can think I can have great work and great chemistry with. I really do.
And have you thought about what kind of promotions you want to go to? There's so many out here in Jersey. There's SWF, WrestlePro. Have you thought about?
I would love to get a hold of Pat Buck, and just come down there. Just go down there, and even if he doesn't want me on the card, just let me show him what I can do. Mm-hmm. And if he decides to, then I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah,
nice. So have you been? Are you still like training like in the ring? Have you been in the ring lately?
I'm actually going to be going back in a few weeks. I'm going to try to go up to Allentown to the Wild Stone Training Center. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to hook up with my former trainers and everything like that over there. Samu's actually supposed to be coming down to my restaurant sometime soon, so I'm glad I still have that relationship with them, and everything. They're like family to me, and I can go there anytime I want, and I'm just glad I can call that place home.
Nice. It's just like riding a bike. Once you get back on, you never forget how to do it.
So that's the thing, and that's I'm sure it's going to be the initial jolt and shock of that first bump again, but it's a routine, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you'll have to keep us posted because we want to see the progression,
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I'm going to be taking pictures. I'm going to have a film crew down there, so I'm going to be doing a lot of different things this time around.
Yes.
Awesome, Nick. And that's awesome, man. Like, every time we speak to you, we just get more and more motivated. Last time we spoke to you, it was coming back from that car accident and rebuilding, and now it's getting back into the ring. It's growing a business. Now every time we talk to you, man, it just gets more inspirational.
Well, it's because I figured that I'm here for a reason, and I don't want to let any opportunity pass me by. I got, to me, I could have, I could have died from that, and to be here after, I'm here for a reason. And you hear all these young people dying, and everything like that, and half my high school class is dead. It's scary to think about, but it's true, and here I am, and I've been through a lot with car accidents and broken bones and injuries and whatnot, and, having, bumped around the world for the last 15 years, and, being, in the entertainment world, I definitely didn't expect to be here today, to be honest with you. So at 33, I kind of feel like right now I've led two different lives, as odd as that sounds, but, it's just great to be here and great to have an opportunity to do it all over again.
Yeah, and that's awesome, and hopefully you can continue to keep inspiring people, because I feel like that's a positive message that you bring to everyone.
And that's what I try to do.
Even on Facebook.
What was that?
Even your Facebook, just you just see it, positivity everywhere you go.
Every time I wake up, I always think what message can I send out today, and sometimes it's not even something that could be really pertaining to me, but I think about other people and how maybe if they read it, it could help them. So it's not all the time about me.
Yeah, that's awesome, Nick, and we'd like to see you continue that because that's just an awesome way to live.
Thank you.
So, Nick, where can people get you on social media if they want to connect with you?
They can find me right now. I have my restaurant page set up and I have my personal page set up. My personal page is Nick Dimitratos. That's Dimitratos. And my business page is the Greek Isle Cafe. So they can hit me up on either one of those, or my email at nickdestiny84@yahoo.com.
Nice. And one more time, can you give our listeners where they can find your restaurant at?
The Greek Isle Cafe in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania. Phone number is 570-339-6607.
Nice. Awesome. And Nick, it was good talking with you, man. We'll have to keep this contact going and let us know how you're doing.
Absolutely. I look forward to talking with you guys and keeping you guys updated on how my process is going and get back in the ring. And I will be updating you guys as far as training and everything, and my progress as far as training as well.
Thanks, man.
Nice. It's been about 60 episodes since we talked to you, so hopefully we got 60 more episodes than us at least.
Absolutely. You guys are doing awesome, and I hope you guys have a lot more episodes and a lot more interviews to get rolling.
We appreciate that, Nick.
Definitely appreciate it. And for us, we're
Thank you.
Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter at Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on the B Plus Player Radio Network. Subscribe to everything.
Yeah, hit that button,
like
son.
everything. And thanks for listening. We are out. You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.
One more for the good guy.